Hey guys, it's Barbara here, and I am going live. This is my first real live where I'm going to share a little bit of information and some content on marketing. So I'm excited to start these. I'm a little bit nervous, I have to say. So for those that maybe don't know me and are watching this later, I'm Barbara Savona. I'm the CEO of Sprout Marketing. It's a company I started about, 10 years ago with my best friend, Lauren, and we've grown. We've been in the multifamily space for 10 years, and we're about to expand into the real estate space, so I'm really excited. I used to do a ton of speaking events for like the National Apartment Association and for associations all over. And about 2 years ago, I made the decision to stop. I'll share that another day. But today, I thought I'm going to break into this Facebook Live, even if it's new for me, even if, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, because what I really want is I want to share little nuggets of marketing wisdom that can help anybody. And really, my market is the housing industry. It's what I love, but at the end of the day, these are tidbits that will help with any business, and that's what I love. And if you've known me for a while, you know that I teach classics, I teach basics, and what I love about those is they never go out of style, but you can always improve and you can tweak them to make them even a little bit better. So I got to show you guys how I prepared. These are my notes, and I'm not going to keep you all long. This is my first one, so I want to ease into it. 2 tips that I want to talk about. So I want to talk about marketing. And I know that when it comes to marketing, we all want to know the latest and greatest, like what is happening. So we go to conferences, we attend webinars, we go to, listen to podcasts. I mean, I know I love to consume. I read a ton of books, and we're always trying to figure out what is the latest and greatest. And I think that's, that's huge, and that's important to stay informed. But some of those things are expensive, they take a lot of time, and they're not always so easy to digest. So I want to share with you one tip that has helped me build a business, and then has also helped me to really modify where I'm going with the business and where our clients are going. So my first trend tip is pay attention to your own conversations and to your own interactions. And what I mean by that is, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what business you're in, what product or service you're trying to sell, we're all human beings. We're all just people, and we have very similar goals, and we have similar things that we're trying to get to. And the reality is we also have similar challenges, and they can be at a big scale, but every time we think we're going to the next level and we think, oh, that'll solve that problem, we just get new problems, right? Oh, hey, Guy, good to see you, woohoo! And Leah, I see a few people, so I'm excited that we have a few eyes here. So here's the deal. We all have different challenges, but they're all very similar. So here's the deal. I said here's the deal 10 times because I'm nervous. But what I want you to think about is, what do you talk about with your best friend? What do you talk about with your spouse? What do you talk about with your coworkers? What are some commonalities that you find when people are talking? What are challenges? Even if they're not your target market, what are the challenges that they're having right now? And when you think about that, it's one of the things that I have noticed leads me to tip number 2. And what it is that in the circles that I run in, and whether I'm listening to something online, I'm talking to my sister that just had a newborn baby, my best friend that runs a business and is a mom of 2, or I'm talking to somebody that's retired and they are maybe taking on another job. Everyone is limited on time. Every single person I talk to, it seems like we open with, oh my gosh, I'm sorry I haven't called you. I've been so busy. In fact, I think my friend Lisa's on, and she texted me earlier, and it's we're all just we're all swamped, right? So we're busy. And because of that, we find out that we're all struggling. So we're all trying to find out how to do things easier and how to do things in a simple way. So my marketing tip number 2, number 1 is listen to the conversations. They're very telling. What people are struggling with is always going to help you with your product or service. Because if your product or service can solve a bigger problem than just the obvious problem, you've got a really great place to be. So the question number 2 to ask is, what do I really sell? And for me, I'm in housing, so the very obvious for our industry is, if you're in an apartment, you're an apartment manager, you're selling an apartment home, right? You're trying to lease apartments. On the flip side, if you're a realtor, you're trying to sell a home, or maybe you're trying to sell your services so that you can get a buyer, so that you can list a home. And that is the very obvious. But I want you to step back for a minute, and I want you to think about a giant, not in our industry, just totally somebody separate. Think about Amazon. What does Amazon do? What do they really sell? Well, if we try to talk about it, they sell a million things. I mean, I could talk to you about the books that they sell on Audible. I could talk to you about Prime and all of the different, food now, the pantry. They now have clothing. But what does Amazon really sell? At the end of the day, Amazon sells convenience. It's about making our life easier. And with that, I started to apply it to myself. So with Sprout, we sell advertising services. We sell design. And when I look at it in the competition, if I boil it down to the very basic of what I sell, I'm in trouble if that's the only thing I sell. There's companies out there that sell design. There's companies like Canva that give design services and tools away for free. So guess what? If I only sell design at Sprout, I'm in trouble. Here's what I really sell at Sprout. I sell convenience. I sell ease. I sell credibility, industry experience, right? That's what I really sell. And I had to get really clear on that, because if I sell on product, just like for those of you in housing, if you're strictly selling on the house that you're trying to sell or the apartment and the features of that apartment, you're in big trouble, because there's always somebody bigger, there's always somebody better that's coming to knock at your door. So what I want us to think about today is really, there's one thing that we can all sell that people are all looking for more of, and that is time and convenience. At the end of the day, nobody I've ever met says, I just have so much time on my hands. So we've got to step back and we have to think for ourselves that time is that non-renewable resource. I mentioned this several years ago at a TAA conference, and I think it resonated with people. And as social media grows, as our demands grow, this is only going to become more and more apparent. And so here's why. We're in a really weird time where, think about how many families not only have young children or children living at home, but they're also now caregivers for their aging parents. Think about how many single moms, how many single dads, how many people have been impacted by economy, just how little time people really have. How we're, now this thing is with us 24/7. And so even when we have no time, we get stressed, and so we find ways to distract ourselves. We look at our phones. The reality is people do not have time. So let's talk for our industry in the housing. When we step back and we say we're really selling time, we're selling convenience, it changes our mind. We do this whole total mind shift. And we start talking about how in multifamily, I'm not selling you an apartment home, I'm selling you time and I'm selling you convenience. And we train our leasing professionals. When we ask somebody, what's most important to you? Where do you like to spend your time? What is your commute like right now? What are some of the things, if they're coming from buying a house, what are some of the stressors that you want to leave behind? And are we tying that into our messaging? Not only when we first talk to somebody with our advertising, but when they're walking and they're talking to us face to face. Where do you love to spend your time? Who's most important to you? How do you think living here? How do you think having a place that your kids can spend the summer? How do you think having a place that you can work out when you get out at midnight because it's a 24-hour fitness center? What is that going to give you back? It's going to give you back time that you'd never, ever get back. And it's going to be, on top of that, it's going to be easy. Same thing with real estate. If I'm your realtor, this is what's going to happen. You don't have to worry about XYZ. You don't have to know XYZ. That saves you time. That gives you peace of mind. So we get super clear on how we do it. And then if it's just us and we're in a one-person office, or we're just a one-man realtor show, then we get comfortable talking about it. But here's the deal. We can't stop there. If we have a team, we have to teach our team how to sell what we're really selling. So I want everyone to kind of just get clear with, we all sell a product or service. That is the obvious. What is the real pain point that we're solving? How can we bring that to life? And so we train ourselves, we train our team, and we bring it to life in our marketing and then all the way to our close. So just to recap real quick, step one, listen. Listen and they'll tell you. So your friends, your family, what are your biggest struggles? What are your challenges? That's the way that most products come to be, is somebody stopped, they listened, and they said, I can solve that. And so if we have a tangible product, we just start thinking about, man, if this is happening to my sister, this is happening to my best friend, my husband feels that way, I guarantee you, even though that person that just walked through the door is a stranger, they're probably struggling with that same thing too. So that gives us a little insight. And then step two is saying, not only do I sell my actual product, like I love this planner. I'm going to show you guys. I showed it earlier on Instagram, my Brendan Burchard planner. But this doesn't just sell me like a piece of paper. I could write my plan here. This gives me a way to organize my thoughts. it gives me clarity, it gives me a purpose in a sense, and it gives me a connection point, right? So what is the real thing that we're selling? Let's get really clear on that. So anyway, those are my two points that I wanted to share, and I'm going to try to do these a couple of times a week. I think there's a lot of little tidbits that, you know, one of the biggest things is we don't have to have change that happens like overhaul, just a little thing that we do a little different. Pay attention today, see how you can incorporate it, and then go back to your teams and say, hey, like, let's forget about selling these apartments. Today we're selling time, and make a contest. Who's the most creative? What can you do when you answer the phone? How can you send a follow-up that touches on time? What can your social media posts do that talks about the time, the convenience? And I challenge you, get creative with it, and you're gonna find that this really is what people are looking for. So thanks for the 8 of you that joined me today, and I'm really excited because I'm hoping many more will listen, tell your friends, and I'm hoping to do this a couple of times, 2 to 3 times a week, and we can just hang out and have our cup of coffee together. All right, talk to y'all soon. Bye. Thanks, Tammy.